This girl's belly is growing at a rapid rate visible to the naked eye. It only took her 20 minutes to conceive and give birth to a 10-month-old baby. The weird thing is that just a few hours ago, she was just a few years old. This is a lucky family of 4. A few days ago they hit the jackpot and won a free trip. They were transported by plane and car all the way. The manager of the resort was already waiting for them before they got off the bus. Just burst through the door, a beautiful girl served them a special wine. It can be said that the whole process is extremely attentive service. The whole time, they were happy to receive and love everything. While playing, their son Trent met Lib, the nephew of the resort manager. The two became friends and played spy games together. Each number on the top corresponds to an English word. No one but them could understand what it meant. No one else knew that this vacation might be the last happiness of the family. Krista and Guy are like many couples. The stresses of life had worn down their love. They had agreed that the first thing they would do when they returned was to get a divorce. They think the children don't know, but they know better than anyone. If the parents divorce, it is the children who will be hurt. The next day, the manager secretly introduced them to a secret place on the beach. It was a nature reserve, surrounded by rocky cliffs containing rare minerals, with a view of a lifetime. A beautiful, quiet beach that would surely become the couple's best memory after the divorce. So they readily agreed. When they got in the car, Trent found a letter in his backpack. It was from Lib. They were accompanied by 2 other families. The manager arranged for a chauffeur to take the group. Neither of them noticed a warning sign on the way to the beach. No entry to the nature reserve. Trespassers will be prosecuted. The driver didn't take them to the destination, but left them a short distance from the beach. He left them some food and blankets. He said if he needs anything, just call and he'll come. Surgeon Charles had asked the driver to help carry their things, but the driver said,
"Sorry, I gotta get back, but it's not far. Just walk down, you'll see a beautiful slot canyon. Walk through that, in a few minutes you'll be there. Enjoy it."
Just like the driver said, after passing through the grove of trees, there's a line of rocky canyons. Unfortunately, except for the driver, they didn't know that this was also a dead end. This beautiful beach, surrounded by rocks and forest, was as beautiful as the manager had described. They started having fun. Charles sets up a shade while his wife, Crystal, takes pictures. Charles's mother and daughter playing with their puppy. Maddox accidentally discovered that there was a boy here before they arrived. He was a famous rapper, mid-sized sedan. For some reason, he sat alone in the corner and wouldn't engage with them. While the kids were playing, they found some items left behind by other tourists not far away. Many of the items were already rusted. It looked like a long time ago. Beautiful times are fleeting. Trent and Charles's daughter, Cara, were playing hide and seek when they found the body of a woman. Everyone's eyes were drawn to it. Sedan comes over with a nosebleed.
Oh, dang.
He seemed to know the body. Charles thinks Sedan and the dead girl were the only ones on the beach before they arrived. Sedan's nosebleed could have been from the girl hanging back. Someone tried to call the police, but found no signal on the beach. Just then a couple came in from outside. The man is Jaron and the wife is Patricia. They heard that there was a murder here, and they couldn't get in touch with the outside, so they wanted to go out and ask the driver for help. But then he took a few steps away, and something weird happened. When he woke up again, he had a terrible pain in his head. He found himself inexplicably back at the beach. He couldn't remember what had just happened. And from now on, one strange thing after another. The first was when Charles's mother suddenly stopped breathing. Charles tried his best to resuscitate her heart, but there was nothing he could do. He thought his mother must have died, because she saw the girl's body, and her heart couldn't take it. The second was that guy's daughter Maddox, who was 11 years old just now, and his son Trent, who was 6 years old, had grown almost 7 years old after only 3 hours. Guy was dumbfounded when he saw the children's appearance. She looked at the kids for a long time, and couldn't look back. Her daughter is now almost the same size as an adult. Sedan's mental capacity was very low. He was so frightened that he turned around and ran outside. Charles was chasing after him, but they both felt a headache halfway down the road. When they woke up, they were both back on the beach and seemed to have forgotten what had just happened. They finally realized that anyone who tried to get out of the beach from the first line would inexplicably feel a headache and end up walking back to the beach again. So they came up with a plan. To avoid people fainting, every 2 people form a group to go out of the result but still failed. 2 bodies appeared on the beach within a few hours of arriving. Now they were stuck here again and couldn't get out. Just as they were all in a panic, Charles suddenly struck out at Sedan. He slashed Sedan's face with a knife. The strange thing was that Sedan didn't feel any pain. When Sedan turned his face, they were stunned. The wound was already healed and scarred. It only took a few seconds. No one can give a reasonable explanation for this situation. The fear of the unknown is the most frightening. So they all gathered together and told each other why they were here on vacation. It turns out they all have one thing in common. Each family has a member who is sick. Sedan had a rare blood disease. The girl who died had acromegaly. Charles himself had some mental problems due to stress. Priska had a benign tumor. As soon as the words were spoken, Priska felt extremely ill. Then she collapsed on the floor. The tumor that was the size of a ping pong ball a few days ago was now the size of a softball. It couldn't have grown this big in a matter of days. Fortunately, there was a surgeon here. He disinfected it with alcohol and performed an open abdominal augmentation. The weird thing happened again. The freshly stretched out hole was closing up at a fast rate visible to the naked eye. Jaron made his own suggestion.
Keep our hands in there to keep the incision open.
Although they could feel the muscles closing, it worked. They were able to remove the tumor from Priska's body. As soon as the wound was released, it miraculously healed itself, and Priska was back to normal. At this moment, she felt a great sense of relief. Just then Sedan suddenly thought of something. He pulled back the blanket covering the girl's body. The girl, who had been dead for more than 3 hours, had already turned into white bones. All signs point to an abnormal passage of time on this beach. It takes at least 7 years for muscle to decay completely. That means half an hour on the beach is equivalent to 1 year of normal time. So children can grow almost 7 years in just over 3 hours. And adults just have cellular aging that is not obvious. But the wrinkles on Priska's forehead are proof of that. They do age rapidly. That means that in 24 hours a day, they're aging by almost 50 years. It's a sure bet that they'll die. Jaron offers his own insight.
I think it could be the rock that surrounds this beach. If our cells are being affected, speeding up in their processes, then us trying to leave is like swimming to the surface too fast after being deep in the ocean. Our bodies can't reacclimate. That's why we go unconscious when we try to leave.
While they were all discussing the weirdness of the beach, Trent and Charles's daughter Clara had another change. It was obvious to them that not only were they growing physically, but they were also changing internally. A lot of thoughts came out of their heads. The adults were stunned when they saw them. Cara's belly was already clearly bulging. It seemed that they had just done something. The girl said without knowing anything about it.
It's okay. Just got a little fat.
Jaron interjects again.
She walked into the emergency room. I'd say she's about 5 months pregnant.
What? What?
She'll only be pregnant for about 20 minutes from the time of conception.
She'll only be pregnant for about 20 minutes from the time of conception. As they speak, Cara's belly grows a little bit bigger, and she's about to give birth. With a lot of hard work, the baby was born. But time passed so fast, the baby just couldn't stand it, so he died prematurely. Cara's mother couldn't accept the reality, and started to complain about Charles's failure to protect her and her daughter. This made Charles, who was already suffering from mental illness due to long-term work pressure, completely collapse. He blamed everything on Sedan. He believed that Sedan was responsible for the girl's death, and that he had brought bad luck. He stabbed Sedan to death in a fit of rage. He fell into a state of mental confusion and became extremely unstable. This made the group, which was already on edge, even more nervous. What no one noticed was that a man on the hill across the street was watching their every move with a video camera. The sun was about to set, and they were getting closer to death. Jaron made another suggestion. He volunteered to see if he could swim to the far side of the island and ask for help. Because his wife, Patricia, is epileptic. If she didn't find the medication and take it, she would be in danger of dying. And that's when Priska finally figured out something. There are patients in every family here. He asked the others how they knew about the resort. It turns out they all came for the same reason. They won a prize when they bought medicine from Warren Pharmaceuticals. This is obviously a trap set by Warren Pharmaceuticals for them. Now they have no way out. The only hope was in Jaron. But soon Jaron's body appears at sea. He had failed. It seems that rescue by sea is not an option either. They couldn't walk or swim out. Their fate seemed sealed. But Cara wasn't willing to sit idly by. Plus, her father's condition was so unstable that he might hurt himself again at some point. So she decided to risk climbing up the rock for help. This girl is climbing for her life. Just as she was about to reach the top, an accident happened. A few hours ago, she was just a few years old girl, trapped on a beach where time was running out too fast. To save her parents, she was now separated from the world. And then Patricia lost her life when she had a seizure and no medication to save her. Because of rapid aging, Priska's eyes are getting blurry. The wrinkles on her face became more and more obvious. When death was imminent, the couple had no desire to divorce and wanted to live together. On the other hand, Maddox found a notebook left by someone else nearby. It contained the names of many people who had been trapped and died here. They were trapped on this weird beach, just like Maddox and the others. It contains their understanding of this beach.
Magnetism of this exact spot on the Earth for years, deposited with special minerals, are causing our cells to age at a rapid rate.
And that's when Trent suddenly thought of a solution. When he goes to the dentist for x-rays, he wears a full-back blood suit so that he can walk out safely. If there was a metal pipe, it might stop the beach from affecting them. Then they could walk out safely. But where can they find a full metal tube? As night falls, Trent finally spots the camera on the opposite hill. Who are the people watching them? Why would they do this? Everything is a mystery. At night, Charles's psychosis returns. He starts attacking Priska and Guy. Priska stops Charles and Guy sends the two children into hiding. But they did not expect the children to meet Charles's wife. She was suffering from hypocalcemia and usually relied on foods high in calcium. Because time passed so quickly, the calcium was not replaced in time. Her bones were misshapen and misaligned. Several flat are shrunken together. The appearance is very horrible. Outside, Guy stabbed Charles with a rusty knife to protect her husband, Priska. Due to the rapid passage of time, the rust was like a poison to Charles's blood. The whole Charles family was died on the beach. Except for the Priska family, the rest of the team died, and the couple was aging faster. Priska had developed Alzheimer's and had forgotten the reason for coming to the beach. Before the dawn of time, Priska and Guy died of old age one after another. Only Maddox and Trent were left on the beach. At this time they have also reached middle age. Not surprisingly, they would die in 13 hours. Before death came, Trent took out the letter Hitler had written to him. After reading it, he seemed to understand something. My uncle doesn't like coral. This was the message Idlib had left him, and it was his only chance to live. There is a coral reef not far from the coast. It might be able to block the power of the rocks. Anyway, it was their only chance now. Time was running out. The two of them swam to the coral reef not far away, and found a passage underneath. It seems that Idlib must have heard something about the beach, so Idlib told Trent the way to escape from the beach in a spy game when he came to the beach. Just as the two of them were about to swim out of the channel, Maddox's clothes got caught on the coral. Can they get out alive or not? The man on the hill watched for a few minutes and did not see the two swim out of the water, so he dialed the phone number.
Child 73 are deceased. Observations complete.
He's a member of a research expedition for Warren Pharmaceuticals. They specialize in the development of pharmaceuticals, and the most time-consuming part of drug development is clinical trials. So they found a beach where time passes much faster than in the normal world, thus drastically shortening the observation period. The patients were used as guinea pigs, and they didn't even know it. When they first arrived at the resort, the drinks served to them by the beautiful assistant were specially formulated for them by Warren Pharmaceuticals. From the fact that they were named test member number 73, it is clear how many people have lost their lives in the past. The mastermind behind it was the resort's manager, Idlib's uncle. When he found out that all the members of Test 73 were dead, he made everyone observe 3 seconds of silence for them. In his words,
Nature made that beach exist for a reason. Warren 1 was meant to find it on the research expedition. We were meant to test medicines in 1 day instead of a lifetime.
But little did he know that just as he was welcoming the next batch of mice, a man handed the police a notebook of his sins. The pharmaceutical company's evil deeds are finally exposed to the world. Trent and his sister not die. They pulled themselves out of the coral pipe by constantly changing air. In fact, the beach is like a tiny microcosm of the earth. We are all trapped here. Through birth, growing up, love, injuries and illnesses, aging, dying. When we are young, we don't feel how fast time passes. The older we get, the deeper we feel. It feels like yesterday was a child, today we'll face aging and death. It doesn't matter if your life is short, but don't hurt people in the name of saving them.